So it's time to work out, and one of the first and most important things we should do is focus on the hips. Get them moving, get them loose, get them activated. And one of my favorite positions, an absolutely marvelous position to get everything going, is the 90-90 Shin-box position, as I'm about to demonstrate its various progressions from easy to hard. So first we're gonna hook our knees in or heels in, and I'll get our chest to that left or right side front knee. As we hold that stretch, we're gonna weave the arm through to get the back of our shoulder to the knee, opposite knee, applying that little rotational stretch, getting a back stretch as well as glute stretch. Now we're gonna push our thigh into the ground, and ultimately that lifts our chest off, and we swivel switch to the other side. Repeat, chest to thigh or chest to knee. Weave the arm through to apply that rotation. You should feel a little stretch in the back as well as the glute. Don't forget to breathe. Back to chest to knee, and drive your knee into the ground using your glute, and that should extend you up. Swivel to the other side. Make sure you do both sides at least 2, if not 3 times. That allows you to really get deep into the stretch and get some dexterity with the control of the whole movement sequence, which is what the most important part of mobility is ultimately, is the control of it, not just passive stretching. So by the 3rd time, you should feel a lot more confident of your joints. On to the next progression. Now we are not going to use our hands at all. Drop that chest down. Use that glute to push your thigh into the floor, which will ultimately extend you up. Swivel switch to the other side. Hook those heels in. That gets those hamstrings involved. And ultimately, the glute is allowing you to get into the stretch. It controls your chest down. It controls your chest up. You don't just want to drop your chest down. You want to make sure your glute is controlling this sequence and how deeply it stretches. Lift those knees up, hook those heels in, which gets those hip flexors and hamstrings involved in the party. Glute controls the stretch. Glute contracts to extend up. Variation number 3, for 3 reps up and down on that same side knee. I call this the elevator variation. We're going to progress and regress in and out of that stretch using our glute. So I exhale on the way down. The glute regressively elongates, getting deeper into the stretch. Inhale at the bottom, exhale on the way up, and the glute contracts to push me out of the stretch. This contract to relax working relationship is going to allow optimal stretch of the glute as well as activation to make sure it's firing properly. And don't forget, we switch to the other side afterwards. Lift those knees up, hook those heels in, get the hip flexors and hammies also involved, and we got everybody involved in the party. For the 4th and final variation, we will be going into a full hip extension to activate our glutes for activity. Excuse my cat, it didn't want to let me do this video alone, so I decided to use him as a prop to demonstrate the importance of controlling this movement with the lower body. As you can see, I hook my heels in, I push my hips forward and up, and then I control them back down to the floor, swivel switching to the other side. This is all glute control, awareness, activation. Very important for anybody that's going to be walking, running, landing, jumping, anybody that needs to handle force absorption, which is just about everybody. We are very bad at using our hips and glutes to absorb force, and this is a great way to teach them to move, push, and handle our load. And that's why, again, you can add resistance to progress it. This is very good for all sports, including martial artists, people that roll on the ground. It's going to be a good little mobilization for the knees as well. So there you have it. That's the 4 progressions. Start with what you can and try to always challenge the body. Enjoy.